All right, everybody. So what you're about to see is it's I didn't catch it at the very beginning, but I don't. There's not a whole lot that was missed. It's the podcast. It's the video version of the podcast, episode 2. Yeah, you can go to the podcast for that. I forgot to take and actually record that one for the video, but this podcast, what do wizards dream of when they go to sleep? Or what do wizards dream when they go to sleep, talks about following your dreams, basically. So, yeah, y'all enjoy. Yeah, Vampire the Masquerade, you've got Exalted, and there's just so many. Cyberpunk 2077 is based off the tabletop role-playing game Cyberpunk. I mean, it's just, so, the video games are, they're born from that, basically. At least the systems that are in place are born from that. They're born from the tabletop role-playing games. So I've always wanted to make my own video game. Well, this is kind of cheesy, but I did take and get the RPG Maker, where you can make games. But one of the things I'm also doing is I've started to try to learn C# so I can use the Unity engine. I've got a course for Blender, which I can do 3D modeling, I can do 2D modeling and stuff like that. I can do character models and animations and stuff like that with Blender, and transport it over to Unity, or transport it over to as a 3D or 2D image. I can get all that done in Blender. And then for later on down the road for Unreal, I've got C++. I've got a course on that to take and get me started. And it's got beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels guides in all of it. So I've toned the water, and I'm going to start trying to make video games. Now, granted, I know this is going to be a long process. I don't have any illusion that, next month I'm putting out my first video, at least not through Unity and Unreal. RPG Maker is a lot simpler than that, but I digress. At least for Unity and Unreal, I'm not gonna be like, next month my first video game coming out. Y'all go buy it. This shit's not happening. RPG Maker is a different story. RPG Maker, I can buy some assets. I commission people to make assets. I've got tons of stories. I've got tons of stories I want to see made that are a little bit different than, let's save the world. Why save the world? Why not just save the fucking town? Or why not take and try to save your dad? Or why not try to, at least different plays off the regular tropes. And I'm so interested to take and learn the C# so I can use Unity, so I can code the game and stuff like that. It's all been part of a dream of mine. Like, even doing the YouTube, I've always had grandiose ideas. You see people on the big screens on Hollywood, and you're like, that's just acting like something else. I can do that. Of course, and again, it takes, you gotta be able to portray emotion and stuff like that. It's more than just reading lines. But when I started YouTube, I was like, man, I'm gonna take and do this, and I'm gonna take and get a ton of followers. I'm gonna wind up being able to make a living off of it. Well, 3 years later, finally, it's bringing in money to where, at least around where I live at, because low income around here for the most part. Between YouTube and the wife's income, we're not we can't get anything extravagant, but we're not hurting no more. Like, we're not having to take and live paycheck and paycheck. We can put a little bit back every month, whereas before it was paycheck to paycheck. So even that is just kind of mind blowing. But now that I'm taking and going into the space of wanting to make video games, and granted, with the RPG Maker stuff, video games I do make, they're only going to be like $3-4 at most. Like, there's a couple games I've got in mind couple of stories at 99¢. Like, for real, there's, but still, I'm making video games. It's always been a dream of mine. Same thing with the YouTube stuff, getting to anywhere close to where I'm at. It's a dream. It's always been a dream. And the fact that I've gotten here to this point where I'm doing stuff that before in my head I've only dreamed of doing. Man, I can't tell you the sense of accomplishment that gives me, in any state whatsoever. Like, it just, granted, get the channel to make money, because everything I do on the one channel is copyright. There's quite a few hoops I have to go through sometimes. Quite a few. If you take and see stuff that's 90% of what you see that's on there that has ads run on it, it's copyrighted. They're running the ads and they're getting money for it. But the stuff that I take and do that's a lot of what I do that gets monetized is stuff that I put out personally, either asking questions or taking and doing the live streams and doing finding old stuff that it's like, shit, no claim, like that. I mean, but even that, but I don't work for anybody but myself. I've gotten way more subs than my goal for this year was to hit 100,000. The year before, on the reaction channel, I had just hit 1,000, and I'd been at it for a year. So the ultimate goal on it's 1 million. I ain't even gonna lie. So, and I know it's doable because No Life Shack, AOK, there's quite a few reactors who have over 1 million subs. So, but that's the thing. I'm doing what I've dreamed about doing. I'm doing something that I dreamed I would get to and have the ability to do. And that's what's cool. Whether it be now with the video games, even just starting off and getting my toes in the water, or doing YouTube to where I'm making the money. Like, go for your dreams, man. If you got dreams, go for it. Like, the time to go after your dreams is not tomorrow. Do that shit today. Like, put the plans in motion to accomplish those dreams, or at least take and try to reach that dream, or see whether or not that dream can be reality, or whether it's something that's, takes extra hard work to get to. You've got to. So many people live their life either in cubicles or just unhappy doing shit they don't want to do. I did that for 33 years. It was longer than that. 35 years. Did that shit for 35 years. Hell, I'm trying. See, this is where being old sucks. 37 years. I did it for 37 years. Just being unhappy with the time. Now, granted, there's jobs I liked. Like, I love doing the underground utility location. Absolutely love that job. The stress of it, though. Fucking hated the stress of it. I hated the headaches of it. I would mark big old duct runs for, to make sure AT&T stuff wasn't hit. Lo and behold, big project. I get a phone call and I'm 10 minutes out from that job site. Get a phone call from my boss. Hey, they've hit the duct run. I hope it's properly marked. I was there marking it every 3 days, or every 2 days, to make sure that the lines didn't fade for the areas that didn't have concrete, so I couldn't mark for like your sidewalks and stuff like that, pavement for your sidewalks. If it was all dirt because they had taken it up because they had laid new pipes or whatever, it was marked daily. So I was over in that area every day, marking and freshening up my marks. So I got that. My stuff was good. Took pictures of it and everything like that. My stuff was good. I had no issues. I didn't get in trouble. But the fact that they still hit stuff that I had marked, and I had to go over there and do an extra, like, it's just, I didn't care I wasn't doing something I was wanting to do. As much as I loved the job, I wasn't doing something I wanted to personally do. It took an, it took a, it took my an inner ear infection affecting my balance for me to be able to actually chase my dream, basically. Because it put me out of work for quite a while. So without that, I don't even know if I'd be doing all this. But it gave me the opportunity finally to take and slow down a little bit. I didn't have to move behind a desk. I went for it. I went for it. Once I started going for it and putting forth the time and effort, I started seeing results. Don't be afraid to go after your dreams because you don't know. Nobody knows what tomorrow holds, and everybody's like, "Oh, don't live your life with regrets." So you don't want to be, 56 and be like, "Man, I wish I'd have tried this. I always wanted to do this." Granted, I know some things are more feasible than others. I completely understand that. There's got to be a way of trying. I mean, of course, then again, if you're in your 40s and your dream was always to be a sports star, uh, maybe work somewhere within, see if you can't get a job somewhere within sports. Otherwise, maybe you missed the boat on that one, cuz just throwing that out there. Like I said, I know there's some caveats in a couple of these places. I'm not stupid. But follow your dreams. Take and go for it. Like yesterday I put up my first demo, and it's like I told folks, it's a rough draft. It's my first draft, basically, of a game that I'm going to be making. Right? First draft. So I just need your input on the scale, on how the damage and everything scales. That's what I told the folks that actually downloaded it. What's the scalability? How does the damage and everything like that scale for this? Do I need to take and tweak it at all? Because once I get that right, then my story and everything else, I can take and put it in place the way I want. So now I'm redesigning maps and stuff like that. I'm going back through with some of these maps and I'm redoing some of the maps. I'm putting in more stuff, putting in more decorations, putting in more, you know, be putting in cut scenes, dialogue scenes, and stuff like that. It's not going to be a massive game. It's not going to make me millions of dollars, but it's my game that I'm going to be able to put out, and it's something that I've always dreamed of doing. I don't know. Maybe it's just, like I said, I know there's quite a few folks that are going to hear this, like, well, I can't do X, Y, or Z, and that's cool. I know there's certain things that people have dreams of that, maybe they're too far along in life to fully realize it. Man, even getting on the steps feels good. Even getting to the porch feels good. Because at least you're looking at the front door. I'd rather be able to, say, hey, I got to the porch. Nobody answered when I knocked, but I got to the porch. Then it'd be like, yeah, no, I didn't try that. I always wanted to though, because then that would suck. That would leave me with that feeling of like, man, what if, and life's too short for what ifs, man. It's too short, and there's too much bullshit not to make a go at things. Whatever you're wanting to take and do, make a go at it. Now, don't try to be a serial killer, granted, unless it's Fruit Loops or Fruity Pebbles or something like that. Kill those cereals, but be an actual serial killer. Don't do that if that's your dream. That's no. Be a good, be a decent human being, and no, Dexter doesn't count. All right, just for clarification, Dexter doesn't count. Neither does that fucker on that show that women love that I don't understand, that about the stalker who kills people. What's that name? Anyways, it's a Netflix show. Regardless, I'm getting off track. I happen to have that happen every so often. I get off track. Go for it. sometimes it might take and require some extra work, or working, or, trying to accomplish it outside of what you're doing now. Some of it, you know, even if you feel like you don't have enough money to start it, like if your dream's to own a business, you might feel like, oh, I don't have enough money to chase after the dream, to chase after my dream. I just don't. Do it as a side thing until you can make it your main thing. Take your skills and use it as, do it as a side thing until you can make it your main thing. You want to take and sell, you want to start a store, sell stuff out the side, out your garage, sell stuff out the back of your trunk, sell stuff at a flea market and put all that money that you get from that aside, or either getting new product that's better product, or maybe just more products. So that way you've got a incoming flow, and at some point in time, the incoming flow can replace what you're making at your regular job, and that can become your job. And you can buy, start in the, trunk of your car or flea market or something online, Amazon or eBay. Start some way like that. Build the funds up to where you can be like, all right, now I can get a storefront, and you can tell your job to kiss your ass. Maybe it's just me being idealistic, but I like to think that with enough patience, enough time, enough effort, you can reach your dreams. You can reach dreams that you've had in your mind for a while. Like, this is something that I've always wanted to do. Granted, this is on a small scale. I'm not working at EA. I'm not working at Activision. However, I'm going to take and spend the $100 that's required to become a publisher on Steam, and the full version of the game comes out, I'm going to take and put it out on Steam. The next game that I have planned, it'll go on Steam. I'll be able to take and release it also, if I want to, on Android and the App Store for Apple. Once I learn Unity and can get a full project out on Unity. It's not big. I won't be big. I won't be EA. I won't be Activision. But I'll be making my own games and making some kind of money off of them. That's a dream come true for me. You don't have to, and that's the thing. Sometimes the entry point is a lot lower than what you think. Go for what you want. Go for it. Don't let what anybody else might say or might think hold you back. Don't let the price of entry hold you back. Sometimes, maybe look around. Price of entry might not be as high as you think. I think I'm going to end this one on that. I think that's a pretty good spot to end it. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.